Hold on, folks. Let me set my. In theory, it's live chat, talk chat, super chat. Okay. In theory, I can see what I'm doing. Well, I looked online and I didn't see anyone. Not that YouTube always shows me what everyone's doing. So normally, I don't do a live stream on a Sunday afternoon. Sunday's kind of like my day off. I'll either record videos for later on or just kind of take some time to recharge. Hey, Johnny, what's going on? Hudson, what's up? Oh man, Mike, we really could have used you last week. We had a gathering, a bunch of military guys, and a couple were contractors. You'd have had a blast. And then we got way too polluted with bourbon and other things. It was just, that took me about 24 hours to recover from. Hey, KP, what's going on? So, well, folks, I know this is kind of off schedule for me. This is not my normal day. So, can you guys hear me all right? God, my sinuses are killing me. Hey, Wolfang, what's going on? So, thank you, KP. Thank you, Hudson. Angie, Linus, hello, hello. All right, so, God, my cat. We have an outdoor stray cat that we made friends with. We got him fixed because I didn't want 50 cats. I just wanted a couple. And the minute I sit down, he'll rub up on me. He's an old man, too. He'll rub up on me because, I feed him good stuff, so he gives me love. But then, and he did it right before I turned live. I was like, God, cat, you killing me. Go figure, I'm allergic to cats. So's my wife. We love cats, so I guess it is what it is. Natural immunity, right? So, folks, look, been a lot going on. I don't know, God, I can't even keep up. Um, I jumped into Hudson's live halfway through. I completely missed Lucky earlier. I caught a little bit of Casey Little Owl. Like, everyone's seeing stuff. If you look at the collective of our prepping community, we all see stuff. I caught part of Wolfang's too. I think I jumped into Wolfang's. There's so many things going on. True, Johnny. He's bringing allergies back, and he stays outside. We've tried to bring him in, and he sang the song of his people all night. He acted like he died. We threw him out, gave him food, and he was happy. But Hudson, yeah, that's exactly where I was going. People are still waiting for another demolition video. They're supposed to demolish another building in the next few months, so I'm hoping I can get up on that patio. Shoot, I should be able to see it from that same patio, and have a rum and coke for breakfast and watch. Hey, Love and Life, what's up, guys? Carpenter, hello. Hey, Virginia, what's going on? Breaking news on spam. So I did discover that spam now has. Remember, it used to be spam, and then they had spam light, which was like less sodium. That was it. Now they have like 20 different spams. So I probably should do a cooking video of each type of spam. And then, hey, Tony, and then recipes how to make like jalapeno poppers with spam and stuff like that. And then, of course, we have to tag the angry prepper because he hates it with a passion, just to make sure, we keep him on his toes. But God, I missed his. You know what? If you saute it and mix it in a burrito for breakfast tacos, oh, really good. Classic car auction. People paying 3 or 4 times more than the car's worth. The Watchmen, that's people with too much money, not enough sense. Uh, I'd be happy to get a old school Bronco like they had in Red Dawn. And God, that sun's killing the camera. Hang on a second here. Let's move that back a bit. Absolute, damn it. Well, I guess the sun's going down. So, platypus spam. Oh, that's terrible. So, As Hudson mentioned earlier, people are starting to lose it. People are seeing things. I'm also noticing a lot more people are realizing what's going on. Like, I've had people come to me and go, wait a minute, if the new cootie version will only be around for 6 weeks, what good is the medicine? Because by the time I get it, it'll probably be outdated. There's no more deals. But a lot of folks are cluing in on the Bentley's fighting with Luna over a toy. I can hear it through the wall. Um, they have an O.J. Simpson for sale up the road from me. That's awesome. All cars projects are finally reasonable. Oh, Ford Broncos. Yeah, the Bronco 2 was a terrible vehicle, by the way. I had an S10 Blazer, the little one, and I ran that thing for 10 years. Like, I had so many miles. It was in the triple digits. Through snow, through the bayous. I went through blizzards in Rochester, blizzards in the Hudson Valley, blizzards in Syracuse, blizzards in Buffalo with it. Drove it to McAllen, Texas for an assignment. Drove it to Houston, then went to Louisiana to the bayous and drove it through the bayous. And finally, I sold it to a high school kid. 85 Dodge Ram Charger. Doggone. Those are good. And there's something to be said about the older vehicles, right? So, guys, you're going to notice there are a lot of things falling into place at once. You guys know I'm in the energy sector, right? So, getting solar panels is becoming expensive because guess where they come from? Out east. And not, when I say east, I'm not saying like east like New York State. I'm talking east like the Far East, or what we would call the Far East, out in Asia. They're cutting oil and gas permits back, and Saudi and Russia are cutting production. Now, if you back up to the end of the Cold War, Reagan, the Saudis, and the Pope all collaborated, and they forced Russia to use the petrodollar, and then they crashed the price of oil. Right? Remember, in the mid '80s, we had the oil embargo in the '70s, and then in the mid '80s, it went down, and that was partly to blame for bankrupting the Soviet Union. By the same token, we're seeing it go the other way now. They're trying to make the price of oil so high that the petrodollar will become excessive. Just my thought on it, but you think about it, they're doing to us the inverse of what we did to Russia at the end of the Cold War. Unfortunately, we've cut back on our production. I spoke to a lot of analysts this week during the gatherings. We had some dinners and lunches, a few speakers. And what I'm hearing, generally speaking, is we're going to see, one analyst said, we're already at $90 in oil, I think. I don't have my phone with me. Sorry about my nose, guys. He's expecting oil could hit 110 again. I had one guy said his model, the higher end fringe, was on the 130, 140 a barrel, which would be absolutely crazy. And that's going to drop into the rest of the market. So you have that. You have the interest rates. You have people can't afford houses. I actually ran a refinance, just refilled my hummingbird feeder. They're fighting over it. Hummingbirds are brutal. I have literally watched one hummingbird knock another one unconscious. He was trying to get in the feeder. The other one hit him with his butt, threw him into the window, and knocked his little butt out. He was unconscious on my windowsill for about a minute before he came to. He legit got mugged by another hummingbird. But we're seeing, I ran the numbers on my house. Gas with ethanol also runs through. You get mileage, only lose more money. Yeah, that's true. So I took the house. Um, and I said, okay, hypothetically, the way it used to work is if I refinance a house, I'm not taking any equity. I should either get a lower interest rate, a lower payment, or lower the total loan somehow. So I went on my mortgage company, or I went on a bank company website, and I did the calculation, and none of the numbers made sense. Even with a great credit score, you couldn't get below a 6.5%. All of them are now sticking APR in there, whereas not a few years ago, pretty much everyone could get a fixed rate loan. And that APR will bite you in the butt, because if that goes up, it multiplies into your mortgage payment. Um, I ran the numbers and none of them made sense. The total loan went up, the monthly payment went up, and I just wanted to see for myself, what are the banks doing? All of them, and then of course I get a call the next day from that bank, and they're like, well, we saw you were using our mortgage modeler. Did you need to pull equity? I said, absolutely not. I'm going to keep all the equity I can. I'm going to put it to another house. I just wanted to see what the numbers look like. And they were terrible. Like, y'all. And so what's happening is folks like all of us who, if you already have a home, it's almost paid off, partly paid off, whatever, and you have a low fixed interest rate, you're not going to move now. You're like, screw it, no, I'll stay where I am. The new home builders can't make the houses fast enough, and they have to finance them. My neighbor refinanced his house, and I was going to pay more in property tax, and gave up a chance. The Watchman, that's exactly right. What winds up happening, now here's the other thing people don't realize. Let's just say you take a home equity loan, right? Let's say, and it's not being put right back into the house, like in improvements, right? Because if you take out a 50,000 home equity loan, but improve your house by 50 grand, right? It's kind of a wash. If you sell it, you're going to get more value. They take home equity loans to pay off a car, or even worse, I've seen one person wanted to buy a bougie car, a bougie SUV. And I'm like, dude, just screw the bougie, just get a baseline SUV for the family and be done. And no, so they took out a home equity loan to buy a car. Now think about this for a second. Once you do that, at least in Texas, we have a homestead exemption, right? So they cannot, bank's not your friend. They want you to big down payment, take monthly payment till they can get you out to recycle it again. Yeah, absolutely. And once you take the home equity line of credit and you use it for something else, say like the car, like this one guy did, and you fail to pay the car, basically you've now put your home on the hook. Normally, for instance, in the state of Texas, you have a homestead protection, which means the only reason they can take it out, you don't pay your mortgage or you don't pay your taxes. If you paid your mortgage or it's paid off and you paid your taxes, they can't touch your home in Texas. Sorry, I'm going to move over here a little bit because that sun's starting to kill everybody here. But once you take out a loan and use it for something else, your house is now collateral for something and you no longer have the homestead protection. So if you don't pay the car payment, they can come after your house. If you do an upgrade and don't pay the contractor, they could put, hey, independent many, they could put a mechanic's lien on your home. And people are just I guess they're panicking. And I mean, Hudson, Mike, you put it perfectly. People are losing their biscuits. They're losing their minds. I saw a couple of YouTubers I followed. One was a YouTuber, one's a TikToker. And, there's some that are always outrageous, right? Where if they say something really oddball, you're like, yeah, you're always saying this shit. I thought it was this person, and I won't say which creator, and the video they made was absolutely batty. Like it made no sense. It was completely out of character for that person, right? And I'm like, man, did something happen? I don't know. No, there's no freedom in a monetary system at all. And the fuse is short, Mike. People don't understand that people are under pressure, and as the economy cooks, right? Because that's basically what it's doing now, right? It's like in an instant pot. It's just steaming up and cooking. You're going to watch people. We're seeing it in the streets. They're going to resort to crime to fill the gap. They're going to resort to outbursts of misbehavior because they're so stressed out. They have no self-control. Ark Wildman, hello. Um, a lot of folks are failing to use either faith or philosophy to guide their morality. And so they're acting horrendously. Hey, Vision, thank you. I'm afraid, unfortunately, as we go into the last quarter of the year, and we're almost there, we're going to start seeing, yeah, and that's sadly where it's going, Hudson. People are starting to lash out. People are starting to be violent. They're making threats on the internet. It's just absolutely insane. Some of the stuff I've seen, and you also figure when you want to like quit smoking, right? They say, or you want to stop caffeine, they say it takes you 3 weeks. Is it 3 weeks, a month to create a new habit? You figure we locked up most of society for almost 2 damn years, more than long enough to create a whole new set of very bad habits. And now we've set these people out in public, and look what we've got. Uh, it's concerning when you think about it. Heck yeah, Hudson. Damn straight. Always going down to have and have-nots in this country. And you're gonna start seeing people panic, and this is one of those wild card things, right? Kind of like those black swans. It's very hard to predict what your options are. Um, I think both Hudson and Vision both talked about your community. Um, all of us talk about being able to defend yourself, being willing to do so. Um, whether your community is a mag or it's people at work who are like-minded, that's its own mag in its own way. Uh, all right, thank you, Hudson. Take care. Thank you for jumping in, man. I appreciate you. Um, yeah, Joe, and it looks like we're working very hard to accomplish that. So it's important that we not get distracted with all this, right? Because all this, it's stressful and it's upsetting, and it can take away, I guess, your spiritual energy, your emotional energy, and redirect it somewhere else. Tony, check the stickers and look for a line item that literally says market adjustment plus 20 grand, because I saw it out here. And so I recently went and I called out a dealership I dealt with before. It was in one of my videos, and they got pounced on social media. And yeah, because their factory price is like, say, 50 grand, but then they have a market adjustment. Now it's 75, and people were like, hell. And that's where people are making mistakes. They're taking out home equity loans because they think they need their car. We don't understand the difference between needs and wants. And so they're making some financial decisions that are not good, and it's going to hurt them. People paying stupid prices on cars. Yeah, yeah. Watchman was talking about that. Yeah, Frank, you do reap what you sow, and that's fine. You know, they got whacked on the head on social media locally because I posted it locally. I was like, this is what, because I know couples and young working folks can't buy like a shop truck, so maybe they'll learn something. Who knows? But you're going to see a lot of this on the streets. So when you're out and about for the holidays, you're visiting family or friends, or you're just going to work, going to the damn grocery store, up your situational awareness now, because people are acting batty. They're acting absolutely insane, and it's not going to be the same way everywhere, right? What happens in Ohio may be different from Texas. What happens in LA will be different from both Ohio and Texas. Trust me. I know people in both states, and those states wouldn't handle what LA's putting up with. So, liquid death anymore to me. Wake up, my lungs wheezing, feel like crap all day. Ooh, that's no bueno. But, hold on. I'm sorry, I lost the chat there. Kind of took off on me. But, folks, now's a good time. Go back to your most basic prep. So, like I said, my wife has pretty much red pilled herself in the last 3 months. Like, she was always like, hey, I'm on board. We went through hurricanes, floods. I get it. To, holy shit, she went like a whole new level. And I'm trying to get her to come on the live stream when she's done with her Etsy season, because y'all will get a kick out of her. But she's like, we need to check water. And I'm like, yeah, it's on my many list of many things. Yes, self-preservation is an instinct we must possess. Absolutely. Who hasn't paid your rent? Thank you, Papas. I appreciate you. And by the way, those of you who are, because of the quack scene and now a bunch of exco beg for help financially. And a bunch of my ex-coworkers beg for help financially. They made bad choices, Lioness. I can only think. All right, Joe. I have so many questions for that post. Now I get it. You had a bad day. SWAT team was involved. I've seen that in my own life, not for me, but someone I knew. But how did you get in the tree with the firearm, the smoke, and the booze, not drop anything, not fall out of the tree, not set the tree on fire? I have so many questions. No, and you know what's funny? I honestly think Vision, and we probably need to do another naked LMAO and naked. Yeah, and he was naked. I'd have scratched the hell out of something on the way up the tree. Uh, Anybody moves there and I'd sadder. That's awesome. Wait, hold on. Yeah, and Vision's absolutely right. Um, Certain places won't tolerate it. So what I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a lot of people from Chicago, New York City, but they're coming down here. And I'm like, hey, do you guys clay shoot? No, we couldn't do that up there. Do you hunt? No, we didn't. We couldn't do that. Like, it's hard for guys from New York City to do that. My son-in-law is from Brooklyn. He moved down here. He went to visit, came home. He said it was great to see my friends. I can't live there ever again, ever. He won't go back. I've absolutely ruined the kid, which is fine. But how much food we had to my wife and I. So farmer, I'm dreading the next relo if they move us. So actually the company was like, hey, we might have to move you in a couple of years. And I'm like, the interest rates suck. The housing market sucks. Like, and they'll, the company makes you whole, but it's like, I don't know about that. And then they're like, no, we're going to send you to classes and we're going to keep you here locally. Um, but I'll tell you what, I learned a few things being out here. One, the closer you are to your work, like real legit work, the less likely you are to get laid off. Because the guys in the corporate offices during Rona, there was literally a employment massacre there. And the guys out in the field like me, where we were, if they needed me, from the office, put on steel toes and hard hat and head out to the field. We were here. We were the ones they kept because we were still making the machine go. We were keeping things running. So yeah, it's I'm getting ready for hunting season here. The beginning stages of intoxication, but then it all goes downhill. A prepper book club, absolutely. And you know what's funny is our internet interest rate with 25 down on 7%. What? Farmer, that's insane. And I was you before you came on, I was saying I ran the numbers for my own house, not to actually do anything. I just wanted to see if I could lower my APR, lower my payment, or lower the mortgage, the remainder of my loan smaller, or even reduce the term. Nothing I did made the numbers better. Every scenario, the monthly payment went up, the interest rate went up. They tried to stick me with an adjustable mortgage twice, and And it was purely, I wasn't actually planning to do anything. I just wanted to see what the numbers worked out to. Right, farmer, same. And it blows my mind. So imagine young folks or someone who's just gone through a divorce, maybe lost a spouse, and they're trying to rebuild their lives. They can't do anything, right? They can't move ahead. They can't buy that first house, and it's pretty. It's actually sad. All right, I think I missed a couple of people here, so if I missed anyone, I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Camo Carl. Everyone was like, CC, CC. I'm like, somebody's in here and I missed him. Hey, Batshit, what's going on? Oh, so what I did today, I'm just going to share with y'all. I have, those water cubes. They're actually made in Canada. They're really good. It's like they're 7 gallon. So I always keep a couple. I took all the water cubes out, poured out the water, rinsed them out, washed them, dried them, and then I filled them with just tap water. Now that's not inclusive of other water reserves I have. That's the sanitation, the hand washing, wash dishes, maybe wash laundry, take a bath, clean tap water. I put following India around the web, and I put some fresh Clorox. Remember, if you're using bleach to sanitize water, don't use the no spill. Don't use the scented. You'll poison yourself. Just use plain old disinfectant bleach. Uh, Put that in there. I figure I have a chart to tell me the amount I need to put in there. I dropped it in, shook them up. I did good 50 gallons today and moved them by hand around the house because the wife has projects all over the place. So did that. Clean pews. I went shooting yesterday. There'll be a video in a few weeks once I get time to edit it. Some tactical training I'm doing. Mag swaps. I'm doing some tactical based stuff. So I'm going to throw it out there. I'm not a professional, but I like to go out and wear different clothes as the season change and see how it affects what I'm doing, affecting my draw, if I have an overshirt, if I'm wearing a jacket. But I went back to the basics. We inventoried food, we inventoried canned goods, threw out a few things I missed. Every now and then you miss stuff. Um, Had some big mac and cheese I got on sale, one of the combo locos at the local store. Like you buy fajita meat and they give you mac and cheese, which you'd never eat together anyway, but you get that big box. But the cheese had gone rancid, that little pouch, so I threw that out and I Mylar bagged all the pasta. So, going back to those basics, making sure I have the extra water for sanitation and hygiene, making sure, uh, and I have the 5 gallon drinking water. Actually, I have a dispenser for that. I have a manual pump. I went and pulled that out, make sure it was still intact. Or you just pour it out of the bottle, right? Realized I ran short of water bottles because when I travel, I can't take a 5 gallon with me, right? So I bring regular water bottles. So I've ordered 2 more of those. I'm going to go pick them up tomorrow. Um, I gutted a first aid kit and anything that, you know how if you leave the Band-Aids too long, the paper gets yellow and they get funky. So I disposed of those, anything that wasn't sealed anymore or they weren't sticky. Um, and then I put those, what was still good, and there was quite a bit, into my field first aid kit, my work first aid kit, my truck first aid kit, and my bug out, my get home bag. Um, my neighbors are so drunk right now, by the way. It's fucking hilarious. I wish I could put a camera over the fence. They're watching a football game or a baseball game. I don't know what the hell they're watching, but they are absolutely hammered. And it's funny as shit listening to them because somebody was just imitating the Grinch or I don't know who he was imitating. So they're having a good time though, and they're not throwing anything on fire anywhere. So, more power to them. And then the neighbor over there is watching John Wick, and I could hear his wife going, "Oh, oh," every time John Wick does something to someone. So it's pretty cool. Everyone's kind of out. The weather's nice now, so everyone's out. It's not like 5 million degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah, as Vision pointed out, yeah, go back to the basics. You can't go wrong. Hey, aloha, Moonsprout. And I will be doing a video on the islands. Yeah, that would make a great live. Back to basics. We that would be panel worthy because I think one of us we get exhausted of talking about everything you could do, but the fundamentals would be great. Laser beam dish listening devices. Oh, I don't need one of those. I can hear them from here. They're all they're all being loud and comedic over there. But yeah, go back to the basics. That's what we did this weekend. I got some range time in. Nothing fancy this time. I was doing mag swaps, checking how the change as the weather gets colder. I'm going to start wearing, like maybe a t-shirt with a shirt over it or a hoodie. How did that affect my draw, my access to my firearm, my spare mag, which got hung up several times? Um, it's not field size. Mm. Moonsprout, I was actually there last Christmas. My son's stationed there, and they're leaving soon. They're going to be coming back to Texas. You know what, Vision? I have found out the ladies learn faster than the guys when it comes to shooting. And I think it may be culturally, we have this perception like, oh, G.I. Joe, and then we don't know. And I don't know, almost every female that I've taught to shoot from scratch, like they've never shot before, pound for pound did better than the guys within a week or a month. So have cash on hand. Yes. So, Farmer, so hey, Hillbilly, the missus has been hearing. So they hacked, you guys heard they hacked some of the casinos in Vegas. Well, apparently it was a lot worse than they thought because they also hacked the casinos in New Mexico. And there's several other casinos went down. Less ego and implement instructions faster. Yes, I think that's a big factor. I agree. I have Waven 22-liter water can. See, MGM got hacked. Right. So MGM is affiliated with, uh, like, I don't know if you've seen the Vegas Strip. It's like the main strip, and you have like all these hotels and casinos. MGM is actually like eight or nine, and then the Venetian is another group, and then there's the IGH. They're like four or five groups. Yeah, Joe, Cerakoting. My wife has Cerakoted several of her pistols, and that's the way to go. Yeah. If you buy them, they look ugly. Wait, hold on. I lost Joe here. Neighbor put a dryer sheet in the drain and plugged it, and our sink flooded. Oh, that's weird. My Texan cop mom had more pistols than anyone I've known. She taught me real young how to shoot. Yeah, yeah, I could see Joe punching out the landlord. You don't like him anyway, so. But so right, so they took a bunch of information. So the Caesar's Palace was back online because they said, well, you have to pay whatever 20 million, $30 million. The Caesar's Casino, the whole entity, the casino alone makes 30 million a day, right? So they clear billions in a quarter. But their CEO of that casino basically said, well, we'll lose a day's revenue and be done with the bullshit. And then they purged their computer system as soon as they got it released, to get rid of the backdoors, which they're putting backdoors in there, right? MGM wouldn't, and they screwed themselves. So if you look at the videos, I really need to do find those videos. There were people being checked in on clipboards. They couldn't pay for anything electronically because the systems were down. They couldn't collect their money out of their machines. And that's a great case, as you point out. Have some, no, Prepper Book Club, definitely. Uh, have some cash on hand. Make sure Love and life. My wife, daughter, son-in-law all have 3.65s, and I'm the psycho. I decided to go with the HK, but um, I'm probably going to wind up biting the bullet and getting a 3.65 as my carry piece because it's so much smaller. But sending Sober Jerome to his room. But uh, Karen's for target practice. But these folks wound up going on a vacation. They probably had their information stolen when the hack occurred, and most of them had no cash. They were using credit cards, debit cards, the casino prepaid stuff. And Tony, I have the VP9 and the SK. I actually am editing a video where I shoot them side by side. I do drills with them, and I love them both. Uh, but I have a 27-year-old HK. I kid you not. It's one of the first pistols I bought for myself personally, and it's immaculate. I could take it to the range right now and put them on paper. Um, yeah, HKs, Glocks, SIGs, Berettas, um, the higher end Springfields. You can't go wrong with a lot of those. Hey, Lady Smith, what's going on? But that's a great example of what's happening right now, right? There's so many little things happening and big things. You don't know. You could go for a vacation and show up and nothing's working. So make sure you've got that cash. People know where you're going to be. People know when you're landing, what route you're taking, whatever it is. Um, you got to be wise about what you're doing right now. Definitely be smart with your financial decisions. Don't If you absolutely don't need a new car, don't buy one now. Let these SOBs crash their own market, and then we'll buy them on the other side. Because right now they're just way overpriced, and people can't afford stuff. And it's frustrating to them. It's frustrating for me to see this for so many good people trying to start their lives, especially the young couples trying to get that first SUV, the first house for the babies. Tony, I have a USP compact in 40, and I got that one. Yeah, age, I'm dating myself. I got that in 97, and that thing still rocks. I would take that to the zombie apocalypse if I could find the ammo. That's the big problem there. And you can find it. But folks, look, like I started off, a lot of people are freaking out. You're going to hear a lot of noise in the background, right? The hacking, banks. The stock market took a nasty dive on Friday, which nobody knows about. Hey, Casey. No worry, Casey. I saw your live just as you were leaving it. That's why I left the comment. I was like, oh, hell, I miss Casey. It doesn't notify me. I just got notified of someone's video they put up 2 weeks ago. But I have to be our own bank, store, and pharmacy. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you have the cash. Make sure your vehicle's in good shape. If you've been putting off the oil change or whatever it is, do it now. Um, Everyone had a Ford cab in the early 2000s. Made the pistol. Yeah, Joe's kind of believe it or not, Joe's kind of like a firearms historian in his own right. So if you're ever wondering the history of a pistol, shoot him a message. He can tell you all sorts of good stuff. Um, but yeah, love in life, we do have to be our own bank, store, and pharmacy. And everyone's in a different place. Some of us don't have property. Some of you don't have a homestead, don't have a farm, can't grow all your own stuff. Hey, prepping artists, do the best you can with what you got. Because I promise you, for every one of us in this community, there are probably 10 to 15 others who are just going, la 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 la, it's going to be fine. It's too stressful to think about. Yeah, if you're in an apartment, and I grew up in an apartment, right? That's just having sufficient space becomes its whole own challenge. Even if you know everything you need to do, where do you do it? Where do you put it? Um, are now problematic. Yeah, no, definitely have a history if you remove. They don't have a history if you remove the numbers. We will officially not endorse you doing that, but that is not incorrect, Cameron Carl. Just saying, I agree with you. Technically, they no longer have a history. Um, but folks, sorry, I lost the chat again. But right now is a great time. Yeah, one bite at a time, and Check your local markets. I've been doing a lot of shout outs. You saw like the beekeeper and the farm. There's a company here doing like freeze dried foods. The guy actually, him and his wife bought 5 freeze dryers, and they're doing them, but they can only do it within Texas based on the cottage laws, which protects you from, you can make a homemade cooked good or processed good and sell it within Texas, but you have to put a sticker saying this is not an official Texas license, this is a home kitchen, etc. And then the person assumes responsibility for buying it. Um, but yeah, they've got their whole own business. I got to shout them out. They do dehydrated meals, so whenever I see them at the farmers market, I'll buy some. Uh, our local meat markets are now affiliated with 2 Texas and 1 Oklahoma ranch. So this is, hey, moldy soldier, this is beef coming from within 6 hours of where I live. The chicken is sourced regionally. We have people making eggs. I'm watching the farmers markets expand. New people, new product. Everything from pickles to honey to green beans. Um, and I'll bet you anything, a lot of people in this, even the subdivisions, if all the people in the subdivisions planted vegetables at the same time in their yard, we'd have plenty to eat in an emergency. But you don't always see that, right? Where the hell are you going to plant in New York City? Central Park? I mean, so that's a tough thing. But get back to the basics. Get to know who's in your area. What are the resources? Where can you get stuff? Um, and go back to basics. Like I said, we did the water. I did some of the canned good inventory. I Mylar stored some pasta because the mac and cheese pouch inside the box, the pouches went rancid because they were old anyway. I threw them out, but the pasta was fine. So I stuck the pasta in Mylar bags. I vacuum sealed it with an O2 absorber in it, and there we go. Right now, I've made that pasta a 30-year shelf life. Stay with those basics, folks, and stay with the fundamentals. There's going to be a lot of negative news in the market, in the energy sector, price of gasoline, and the fuel is going to trickle into other things. The potatoes actually went so far as to say this last week, Sassy sent me the video. He said we may see food shortages. Now, it could be fear mongering, the president trying to frighten people. Why risk it? Be smart. We've got time. That's the one thing all of us have in this community. We're actually trying to pay attention, and we miss things. I threw away a few cans today because I missed them. We're human. Forgive yourself. You're just human. You got a bunch going on in life. You miss stuff. Hey, Mad Chad, that doesn't mean you can't stick with the basics. And Cibolo Creek Cattle Company, I don't know about them. Amazing Grace. Well, Joe, they probably saved you from a trip to the county court. Raccoon eyes, I'm bad at rotating foods. I always forget. So, raccoon eyes, what I've been doing, because I'll forget too, my wife and I are very busy. I set a reminder on my computer, like every 4 weeks or every 2 months, something like I can't remember what it is. It says, check canned goods. Pops up on a Saturday. So then I go that Saturday, I take 2 hours, I go pull all the canned goods, see if I missed anything. And I always miss something, right? There's always that one can or whatever. I'm like, I didn't even know I had this shit. Trash. You can cook it right there, see if it's good or trash. But yes, love and life, I agree 100%. Ordering a half cow and 2 lambs. Vision, did you get it through FFA or through a local butcher? Oh, Joe, dog food, pet foods also. Yeah, precious metals are great. So locally, we have a lot of silver dealers, and they'll be like, oh, yeah, if you want, it's whatever, it's market plus their upcharge to buy coins. If I see them at the gun store, I go to their shop, and I always ask them, do you take cash? They say, absolutely, we take cash. So I give them cash, and I usually wind up with a little discount on the cost because I paid cash. There are a few guys I know are straight up silver and gold stackers. and most of them are also preppers, even though they may not admit to it. So, hold on. Old car radiators, that's actually not a bad idea. Car batteries too. Hey, Texas Redleg. So, yeah, there are a lot of little things you can do. Like I said, this weekend, the goal was, aside from getting some range time, break in a new holster. Okay, you have a friend. See, so there's Vision's a great example of being able to source from a local farmer or local rancher and pay for it to be processed, and you come out with meat. Um, and a cattle is a phenomenal amount of meat. Like the last time we bought a steer or a cow, uh, it was a beef with the FFA. We had to split it between three families because none of us had enough room. Now, farmer, to your comment about the banks, uh, some of the banks, if you go into the bank and use the ATM inside, it gives you smaller denominations. You know how you go to ATM, you usually get 20s, right? But then if there's an emergency, you're handing 20s to people and they just, there's only so many they can make change for. You can go get singles, fives, tens, and 20s at some of the banks if you go into the bank. So I make a point every payday. I'll go the day after, I will go to the bank, go into the bank kiosk itself, inside the bank, use that machine and get the smaller denominations. If nothing else, it's much more convenient when you're traveling around. So my brother-in-law family raises cattle. Mm, moldy soldier, absolutely. The quality, the taste, the texture is just absolutely different. Uh, Amazing Grace, check. Oh, what's the name of the meat market? I don't know what side of Texas you're on. Check your local FFA because the money would go to scholarships, and you can see the cow and check the quality of the animal itself before processing. Um, if you shoot me an email, there's a couple of, if you're here in Texas, hold on, I lost somebody here. Amazing Grace, if you want to shoot me an email at theroamingprepper@gmail.com, I can point out a few meat markets that I know are affiliated with local ranches, but it depends where you are, obviously. Like if you're in Tyler, it doesn't make sense to reach out to El Paso, right? Because it's like 14-hour drive. That's silly. But find something close. Lioness feral hogs are actually not bad meat, but you got to process them right. And javelinas, if you don't get that gland, it ruins the meat. Anyway, burgers from the Amish market and the meat tastes amazing. You know what, Watchman? Honestly, I like to buy the local meat and then I freeze it myself in a vacuum sealer. And even when I thaw it and cook it a year later, it's so much better than in San Antonio. Oh, okay. My one of my kids lived in San Antonio for a while, and they told me about a meat market. I'm gonna reach out to them and see where it was. But by the way, there's a bunch of preppers and homesteaders outside of San Antonio. I'm sure you know this, so you're in good company there. Hey, ex New York City prepper, how are you? You know that, Joe. That's a good point. It's easier to drink dinner. Well, that's what they want, right? They want us all screwed up. Um, but folks, stay with the basics. Like I said, this weekend, I checked. Excuse me, I checked my firewood. I refilled the water that I use, and I have different water for different purposes. The water for sanitation, flushing of toilets, washing of hands, bathing of people, and maybe laundry. And again, because I'm in a very dry environment, like Visions in Ohio, some of you guys are like Hudson's on the East Coast. Some of you guys are in Louisiana and like San Antonio or Houston. You have a lot of natural water supplies. We don't out in West Texas. So being able to store enough till I figure out what's next is going to be real important for me. Um, Farm to table crickets. Yeah, no, they can keep the damn crickets. Ugh, that's nasty. Bottle of booze will set you back $25. Stroika. Yeah, and Texas Redleg's absolutely right. You got to stay balanced on the preps. Um, but make sure you check, rotate. So, like I said, I pick a prep. Like this week was the firewood, the water, and not the drinking water. It was the hygiene, flushing, and emergency, like the third tier of water. Um, Made sure I had that. It was treated with chlorine, sealed, ready to go to return to dust. Yeah. Yeah, see, so for me, my winter is relatively short. It's nasty, but short. Vision has not as low a temperature, but his lasts for a very long time, and it stays cold. We'll get like 1 week where it goes below zero, maybe, and that's it. So firewood for vision is going to be a lot more imperative than it is for me, but I still need to have some because I have to account for that possibility that I lose power during a blackout when the winter hits, right? We all saw what happened in 2021. So you're trying to balance these things. Texas Redleg, other than spaghetti, I found rice. If you go to Sam's and get that 25-pound bag of rice, put it in Mylar, and that gives you protein, carbs, and fiber all in one meal. But yeah, um, oh, by the way, for those of you speaking of better value, what's the brand in Walmart? Best value? Great value? The blue box. You guys know what I'm talking about? Help me out here. Uh, Great value, right? Read the ingredients. Thank you, Prepper Book Club. Read the ingredients uh, because people are starting to see may contain anchovy in stuff that should not contain anchovy. They're seeing weird ingredients. So, see, vision, yeah. So, what vision's going to battle with is different. So, also understanding your area is super important. Hey, Miss America. Thank you. Great value. Yeah. Grand Rapids. So, yeah, I went to school in upstate New York. That lake effect snow is a beast. Um, oh, gotcha. Yeah. And you know what? Think about it, Red Leg. So you put canned beef or canned chicken on your spaghetti, throw some sauce on there. You got sodium, you got carbs, you got protein, you get some vitamins out of it, like, and it fills. It also raises the morale of the troops, so to say, um, because people can't afford to feed themselves. It's absolutely right, Joe. So, folks, make sure you stay with the basics. Don't freak out. Now's not the time. Now's the time to be calm, think smart, and again, pick a prep every week, right? If you try and do everything 1 week and you get exhausted, you won't finish anything. Hey, Canadian, and then you'll pass out. Like you'll be done. You'll be like, yeah, screw the world. Instead, Cottage said the label has bioengineered food. Oh, no kidding. What? Oh, okay. So who wants to have their mind blown? I just saw a report that Chicago, it's not Mayor Lightfoot now, it's the other idiot. Because of all the thefts, all the groceries chains are leaving. So they said, well, we have a solution. We're going to investigate state-owned grocery stores. We couldn't confirm it on an article. It was a video by a TikToker. So double check, see if you find it. Vision, Mad Shad, those who are creators, Wolfang, Redleg, see if you can find it because this blows my mind. Because that kind of sounds like I'm gonna do a Joe Biden. Kind of sounds like communism. See, I can't be as creepy as him, even when I try to be. I just look like a guy who's whispering. Wild food is way more nutritious. Yeah, definitely. Uh, oh, you heard it too, Mad Chad? Okay. Yeah, what mentality is that? Search the office of mayor and it's right there. Oh, God, it's true. Ugh. They can't even run the city right. They're gonna run a grocery store, but you'll have all your bug-created meats and whatnot. Communism. I don't know. I don't know what to make of that comment, Joe, but that's funny as shit. You know what? I'm gonna send that to the veterans group here. Um, Mad Chad, we also missed you this last week. We had an outing. It was a bunch of the guys from 214 guys, if you know what I mean, and a couple were Marines, and we got way into the bottle of bourbon and some other stuff. And let's just say the company Ubers me if I have to meet clients for happy hour. So I was super happy about that. But Progressive Campbell's is putting bioengineered ingredients in. Oh, for Christ's sakes. Oh, there you go. Mad Chad just threw it in there. State-owned grocery stores. Pinball did a video. Okay. Yeah, I got it from her. She's been like a on her game. Castro's son and Ken is telling her, Farmer, that like seems insane. God, I need a happy hour. No, because Joe, then it would become the naked Joe in the tree hour. You just admitted to it. See, I don't need to see that, man. I would enjoy a happy hour with you, but not if it involves nudity, fire, and a tree. I just no. I did that I did in college. For the record, I chased my buddy out of a tree, so and he ran into a stop sign, literally hit the stop sign. So that was the end of his fuckery for that day. Um, yeah, no, no, we can't have nakeds in the tree. I don't want to see anybody naked in a tree. I don't care. Uh, Run by Thizer's vision. But anyway, folks, hogs widespread and taste fabulous. Yeah, they are. This is true. Or his nephew, or whatever the hell he is. Yeah, farmer, I hear you. So, folks, look, stay with the basics. Pick a prep every week, or you could even do one. I know one person does Wednesday, Saturday. On Wednesday, they pick a small prep for an hour and a half in the evening, like inventory pasta or whatever, right? Check batteries. Then Saturday, they dedicate 2 hours. And that way you can live the rest of your life. You have other things to do. But at least in the back of your mind, I check those boxes. Hey, Loretta, I check those boxes and I've done my part. I've made progress this week. Right now, aside from I hurt my foot and I hit myself on the head, and then Sassy hit herself on the head with something else, we were just having a row. We got a lot done. I feel accomplished. She feels accomplished. She's working on her Etsy stuff, and she's got a bunch that's going on, which is awesome. The extra revenue stream is great. And, I was able to get some of my work stuff done. So Monday, Tuesday won't be chaos for me. So if you schedule the time, then I did my part for the week or the month or however you guys schedule it, and you don't feel bad because if I don't schedule a designated time to do something, I'll forget about it, and then a month goes by, and then I'm panicking, going, "Oh, I have all this to catch up on." An hour, 2 hours, we waste an hour watching stupid TV shows any given week. So hell, put the TV, if you have that damn Apple Fire Stick or Fire TV, just bring it to wherever you are. Get off your ass and start working out. Um, been cooking pots of soups. Now, who was it? Wolfgang, was it you or Redleg that you were freezing the soups in the Tupperware? So you basically made a soup rectangle and then you vacuum sealed it. Oh, yeah. Hey, guys, help me out with the likes here because YouTube's been killing me lately. Um, Pasta machine, you make huge variety of noodles. Ooh. Linus, are you using a KitchenAid, the big mixer, or no? But hold on, I'm losing the chat. Don't hate that. Cheapo booze is where it's at. Joe. Cheapo booze has its place. I'll give you that, Joe. But folks, look, pick your. Sorry, I lost the chat. Like everything jumped, so I probably missed. Hey, Angie, um, take some time. Schedule freezing stock and ice cubes is handy. That's a great one, Billy. Thank you for joining us today. Um, Pick a prep each week, or maybe twice a week, like Wednesday night. Put it in your phone every month. Inventory canned goods, right? That's easy. You go to the back, pull out anything that's old, move it to the front, or throw it out if it's ugly. Then make a list. Hey, I need to replace green beans, corn, beans, whatever. Uh, True, Joe. That's true. Hey, be good, love and life. Take care. So, folks, pick a date or pick a time and just schedule it, and do something different each week. Obviously, don't inventory the same thing every Saturday. It's not going to change that much. 45-pound pack in the woods. See, and that's a good workout too, because we're not puppies anymore. Vision. Sad to admit, as handsome as we are, man, we got to keep up. We got to maintain, or else we'll become a problem. Be good, love, and life. But folks, pick a prep. Don't get distracted by a lot of the negative news. You're gonna hear it. I know you're gonna hear it. Economic ninjas pointing out stuff in the real estate market. I'm talking about the energy sector. It's all gonna percolate over the next few months. Um, yes, we were talking about water earlier, bad shit. Yeah, absolutely. Make sure you do the best you can with what assets, room, time, effort, equipment you have, so that you're not caught blind. At least, hell, even if you're starting right now and you have 72, gives me energy to work out. There you go. 72 hours of food and water. That's 3 days worth of time for you to sit, take in the news, and figure out, what am I going to do next? Um, the ones that have nothing in their fridge, nothing prepped, nothing at all, no flashlights, and yes, during the Texas freeze, my daughter said people were getting hurt in the apartment, falling down the apartment stairs because they had no flashlights. Like, how could you live anywhere and not have a flashlight or a candle? Right? It's insane. So you got that right. So folks, just pick a time, pick a different subject or topic, if you will, work on that topic for that week, and then move on and get the rest of your life going. Okay. And if you can include your kids, you can include your nieces and nephews, family members, you'd be surprised what people can come up with. Well, folks, I'm going to let you guys go. I was going to do this for 15 minutes. We've been talking for over an hour. So, yeah, no, Billy, absolutely. A couple of cases of water. I mean, it wouldn't be pretty, but that's 2 or 3 days for you to sit and figure out, okay, what do we do next? Because think about it, you're not going to react immediately unless something's actually trying to kill you. You're going to sit there, turn on the news, flip on the radio, and talk to your neighbors and be like, okay, what's happening? Because the more information you get, the faster you get it, the better decision you can make. But you need to survive during that initial period. And also, if you have more, that's great, because when everyone else realizes what's going on and they hit the stores, you're going to have panic. You don't want to be over there. You want to be at home watching the panic on TV. So, farmer, 100%. That is absolutely true. But folks, look, don't forget to hit the like on your way out. Thank you so much, mods, fellow creators, all my regulars, guys. I do appreciate you. I enjoy talking to all of y'all. And trade notes, trade information, because we all make a difference when we can collaborate and trade these kind of little tidbits of information. Even if it's not coming from me, it came from someone else in the chat. You now have something new to work with. So you guys be good, be careful out there, and I will see all of y'all later.